Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into episode 5 and 6, and this episode feels different from what we have seen so far. The humor takes a step back, and things get a lot more seriously, and honestly, a lot more emotional too. So let's talk about it. First, we have Sang-woo, the ghost at the center of this case. He is not just a victim. He was a husband, a father, and a scientist. And the fact that he was murdered, but we do not know by who until the very end of episode 6, creates this tension that builds slowly but keeps you completely hooked. What I really like here is how the show makes both the characters and us as viewer guess at the same time. We are all figuring it out together. At first, I thought the killer was his wife, Kim Soo-jong. Why? Well, I feel that the show wants viewers to think that. The victim, who is now a ghost, say it pretty confidently, in my opinion, who did it in one of the scene. Then the evidence, his complicated relationship with his wife and his wife's family, and his wife's mental state, it all points in her direction. But then everything changes. As we start seeing more flashback, especially about her mother's illness and the research process, the story becomes a lot deeper and more emotional. I began to understand why Kim Soo-jong makes the choices she does, even taking the blame on herself. And I was upset and wondered why she does that, but then I felt for her. Her situation, her pain, and even her dead husband as well. It is tragic from both sides. Now, here is the twist that really got me. The real killer is the researcher who works at the same lab as the victims. I did not expect that. I thought it would be the father-in-law after what Kim Soo-jong said something in court that does not make sense. And the show even gives us scenes that make it look like he is the one behind everything. But no, it was someone else entirely. And the motive? Power. He wants control over the lab to be the chief and to bring back a ban policy to the lab. And I feel that his choice to choose between his desire and doing what is right led him to the wrong path. And that contrast is actually really interesting when you compare him to attorney Shi Lang, because on the other side you have Shi Lang having this emotional conversation with his mother. He talks about why he continues this work, helping ghosts find peace. He has this ability to see what others cannot, and instead of using it for personal gain, he chooses to help others. And that is the complete opposite of the researcher. One uses their ability for good, the others for control. There is one thing I am still a bit confused about though. I am not sure if the researcher forced Kim Soo-jong's father to resign after everything happened, just so he could take over as chief of the lab. The show does not really go into detail, it just tells us that he resigned. Now let's talk about the ending. Episode 6 wrap up this case nicely like in previous episode. That ending, that emotional closure, it reminds me of classic Hong Kong horror comedy movies and TV series where ghosts remain in the human world not because they want to, but because they have unfinished business, regret, or resentment, or something they couldn't let go of when they were alive. It's such a powerful concept. Whether you believe or not, that is another story. But for me, I grew up hearing about this kind of story, so it feels very familiar. Alright, that is all for today. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. And I will see you in the next video.